One of the biggest mistakes that I hear moms say is that they'll give breastfeeding a try. They really want to try breastfeeding. But the reality is that building confidence before your baby comes is the key to a successful breastfeeding journey. So the best time to prepare for breastfeeding is before labor even begins. Starting off with a plan to have a um, as natural as possible labor as possible is really the best place to start because we know that all those hormones released in the natural birthing process help the milk come in. So things like Pitocin and C-sections can interrupt the breastfeeding journey. However, we know that it is possible to breastfeed with those two things. So my first was born via C-section, and I had an induction with Pitocin beforehand, and we did breastfeed. A little bit of pain at the beginning, but honestly, like we had a successful breastfeeding journey, and I breastfed her until she was a year old. So it is doable, but taking classes and preparing is absolutely essential for this. So a lot of times, especially if it's your first that you're breastfeeding, when your baby is born and you go to latch them for the first time, moms feel very unprepared. They don't know what they're doing. They were told breastfeeding is supposed to be natural, but it doesn't feel natural. It hurts. They don't know if they're doing it right. They don't know if their baby's getting milk. They don't know what the colostrum is. They don't have an understanding of how it's supposed to look, how it's supposed to feel, how you're supposed to know if your baby is getting enough milk. So as you're preparing for birth, we should be preparing for postpartum, and that includes the breastfeeding journey. So a lot of moms will have these concerns. Will they make enough milk? Maybe if they did it in the past, they're concerned that they're not going to now. Um, and then what do I do if it doesn't work? So, confidence is not going to come from having all the answers. You have all these questions and no answers. And honestly, you might not even have answers when your baby comes. But the key to building confidence in your impending breastfeeding journey is by starting by building a team. So, having a lactation consultant, in your context before you even give birth is super helpful. A lot of lactation consultants will do prenatal appointments. So you establish care with them, and they might even schedule a postpartum appointment right away before your baby is born. But if you've had an established relationship with them, it is really helpful because then you have someone to go to that you know, like, and trust. The same goes for your chiropractor and your pediatrician. So having that relationship established for your pediatric chiropractor before your baby is born helps you gain confidence in your ability to seek help because you already have that contact. You already know this person. You already know that they're in their corner. And this is one of my favorite things about caring for moms during their pregnancy is that when they bring their baby in and we do their initial exam, they know me, we have a relationship, and it's not as scary to ask those questions that feel like you should know the answer because breastfeeding is supposed to be natural. But having providers in your corner that you're comfortable with asking questions, even if they feel silly or stupid, is so important and is going to take such a load off of yourself and your partner as you're going through this breastfeeding journey. It's also really important to have a plan for your partner and your family. So most families now, I feel like it's very common to be supportive of breastfeeding, but every once in a while, you'll get the random family member that thinks it's weird. Um, just don't talk to them about it, right? Like just know that and just be like, all right, we're not going to talk about it. I'm whatever. And as far as like your husband, um, having him understand that, hey, like once you sit down to breastfeed, like you're probably not going anywhere for 20 minutes. And as soon as baby latches, like um, you might get so hungry, you feel nauseous. You might get so thirsty, you feel like your mouth is sandpaper. Knowing these things and having a little breastfeeding cart ready, or your partner seeing that you're sitting down and bringing you all these things is going to make the journey so much easier. And this is so good for dads to feel like they have something they can do to help feed baby, especially if you're not doing bottles. So, mom's feeding baby, dad's taking care of mom. It's a really great way for everyone to be involved and feel confident in the journey together. There is absolutely a nervous system connection with feeling confident in your breastfeeding journey. So, we know that mom and baby are deeply connected on a neurological level. For those first 3 months, your baby doesn't even know that they exist as a different person from you. They think they're part of you. So, having a high level of stress in your daily life, not getting the sleep that you need, will affect your milk letdown, your recovery, and then your confidence as well. Because a regulated nervous system is key to feeling confident and well and healthy and supported in your body. And having that regulated nervous system in that aspect is going to be supportive of your breastfeeding journey. So I just want to remind you now that before your baby comes, these are the things to do. So let's take a birth class. Let's definitely get a plan for our birth. Let's learn the breastfeeding basics. Either that's taking a class online or in person or having an appointment with a lactation consultant. Identify your resources and build a connection with them before your baby comes. Have a plan postpartum. Have a plan to not see those people not supportive of your breastfeeding journey, and have a plan for your partner to support you during your breastfeeding journey, and discuss those goals with your partner. So, what things do you need from your husband so that you can do the hard work of feeding your baby? When to get help. Don't wait until it's too late. Don't wait until you're so overwhelmed you feel like you can't move. Reach out to your OB or your therapist when you're feeling anxious. Um, if feeding is stressful or is just not going the way that you want, find your chiropractor, find your lactation consultant. Let's go to both. If baby isn't latching well or you need reassurance that baby is latching well, absolutely reach out to that lactation consultant. And then let's absolutely get your nervous system checked too. So you and baby are connected. Your confidence is dependent on it. Having that nervous system focused care, having prenatal chiropractic care and postpartum support is absolutely going to help support your breastfeeding journey. So it's really important to remember that your breastfeeding journey starts before your baby is born. So let's get you prepared now. Get those classes, get those providers, get your nervous system checked, and you'll be on your way to having a successful breastfeeding journey.